All right. Incredible, guys.
Thank you.
Natalie and Andy, Little Saints, welcome to our band show.
Thank you so much for having us. This has been such a day. There's a lot of fun people in the back over there,
We're having
including
a
the
party
crew
here.
and the bands.
Quite a blast.
Yeah, we're on. Honestly, it feels like more so the party than a production, which I guess is a good sign. We're having fun, and how could we not? Your music's amazing. I just saw Patrick rocking out back there. How you feeling, Pat?
You know, this is a fantastic evening, and this particular set is blowing my mind right now. So, Chris, I'm just happy to be back here switching and just really being able to see every angle of our performers. And I think I have the best seat in the house.
Yeah, we're very fortunate. But let's get down to business, guys. Okay? We do our research here. You guys sent us a bio. I want to read a portion of the bio you sent in.
I'm scared.
Because I'm curious. It's a good thing. Don't worry. Don't worry. It's just because we like your sound so much, we want to understand what this means. So, in your bio to us, you wrote, the band transforms between solo, duo, trio, four-piece, and five-piece to create a special performance for each audience. Now, I believe the special part. If you guys just heard what we heard, how could you not? But we've never had a band send a write-in like that. So what is this transforming amalgamation that we're hearing right now?
This is... It's the number of pieces kind of depends on who reaches out to us and for what gig. We have been as big as like a 5 or 6 piece band, and it's been as small as just Natalie, by herself here. So
Yeah, we just like to mix it up, but also be like we can morph to whatever so that we could play as much music as possible.
Yeah, so how does that play out? Like, what's the, give us some examples of that.
So most commonly, like if it's anything besides her and I, the next most common lineup is a trio, which is Natalie, myself, and our bass player Ian Dingman, who is a great bass player and both of our best friend. And then from there, if we get the chance to play with a drummer, we add a drummer, and after that it would be keys.
And I imagine that makes you guys pretty flexible and able to take probably more gigs than if you were kind of hard locked to one lineup.
Yep.
Yeah, it makes it really nice and easy for us because then we can play all the shows. We're like, we can do whatever you need. And
Very cool.
We'll be there.
And was that the goal, or is this just something that you're making work because you love the music, you love the performing so much? This kind of...
Yeah, closer to the latter, I think.
Okay.
It's not, we definitely enjoy playing in whatever size lineup we can, but it didn't intend necessarily on being like a scalable band, right? It was kind of we wanted a band, and then other opportunities sort of presented themselves, and so we play them when we get them.
Yeah, awesome. And I'm going to take the opportunity to tell folks to go and find the recorded music. Most of it is full band, and you can really hear the larger treatment of the sound. And I think it's all the more special that we're kind of getting a more intimate style from you guys this evening. And it's fun to then go and unpack that on the streaming services. So please go check out their music. Pat, let me ask you. We've had a lot of different styles of music in the studio. Tell me what's your favorite part about hearing Little Saints go from the full piece on recordings to being a 2-piece in our studio?
Hey, Chris, the acoustic, it's not something that we have on the show too often. You have to go back to the early days to
That's
really,
right.
Yeah, exactly. But it's great to have it back, and it really does rock, and this is such a great vibe. The eclectic mix is so great, and I just want to know, in terms of the creative process, like, diving deep into your sound and creating it, what's the orchestration of your music, and how do you put things together, to delight our ears here tonight?
Yeah. All right. Well, Natalie usually starts with some sort of either lyrical or melodic idea. Oftentimes, if she's got like a clear vision, it'll kind of start and end with her. She, I think, every song we played tonight. Did you finish all those yourself?
Except for Satisfied, yeah. But yeah.
But mostly, right?
Yeah, lots
Yeah.
of sitting in my room and being like, what what keys is going to be, what chords are going together, and then I'll text Andy and be like, do these chords make sense? And then, but it does usually start with our lyrics and kind of, then I go to Andy and I'm like, what? Here's the vibe of what I want. And I'm like, here, we want happy rock, kind of sounds like Tedeschi Trucks. And then sometimes I'm like, but I want sad and grunge and Alanis Morissette. And Andy knows what to do at that point.
Most of the
He's
time.
like, and he just puts it together.
Really cool. And I shared some of the notes you sent us. I want to share some of the notes I wrote down in preparation for your sound.
Please, yeah.
And please elaborate on it. This is going off Pat's point. It's a perfect segue here. I wrote down, I hear notes of indie, folk, slight hints of jazz and some of the leads that are being laid down. But then I also get some sounds that are almost like contemporary French or contemporary Hawaiian. It feels very all over the map, very truly an amalgamation of an eclectic palette. Speak to that, please. I want to know how the sound comes together.
Such a great question.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I mean, it's just kind of either what I'm listening to. I've never listened to French music. Well, I don't want to say never.
You've seen Ratatouille.
But
Sounds like that.
To elaborate on that, I felt the chord progressions
Cool.
oftentimes give me
Okay.
like a La Vie en Rose style feel.
Ooh,
in,
all right.
in some areas.
Yep.
Some of those steps that you guys take to get down to the root or such.
that
makes
would be
sense.
Andy.
Yeah, that's getting bored in my bedroom playing the same chord progressions and trying to find the spaces in between whatever chords are either on the song I'm already playing or trying to write. I kind of have I don't know if you'd say good or bad habit of overcomplicating things occasionally. I've been known to think that every song needs to have the maximum information in it when it definitely does not. So I've kind of worked to try to pull some of that back, I guess, and operate more just on sound and instinct rather than like numbers, figures, and proof that I know a couple things about the instrument, I guess.
You got to leave him wanting more.
Yeah.
I love that. But overload us, please. We're techies here. And me and Pat's hard drives can handle it, especially when it's
Fair.
your sound. Right, Pat?
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I definitely enjoy the technology. And, in terms of, obviously your creative process, in terms of when you sit down to record this and release this music to the audience, what is that process like for the both of you?
Well, it's currently, I feel like I usually do a scratch track. We go hang out with our friend Dan DeKalb, and wonderful recording engineer and mixer in Clifton Park. And we usually go in the first hour spent just kind of sitting on the couch and hanging out for a little bit. And then I typically will lay down a scratch track on acoustic guitar or something like that. And then we kind of fill it out from there. Bass, drums, I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to choose what songs to do. It feels like because we have such a variety of genres, it's hard to pick what should go on one album. We have our EP out, but it feels like almost every song is kind of a little slightly different genre, which I love, but I know that sometimes that makes it hard for people to listen to us if they're like, we want that song in all of that album. But so right now we're just kind of trying to figure out what our next step is for that, if we want to try to write songs to fit an album or try to fit our songs into an album. But it is very difficult to try to string them together into a story.
A cohesive piece, yeah.
Yeah,
But
and you want to tell a story.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like you said, there's a lot of different influence going on, and at least for me personally, I think for everybody in the group, it's kind of like what I am listening to or practicing or playing, even on like a couple day-to-day basis, is not necessarily always the same. And it kind of reflects that way in writing sometimes. I mean, I've gotten halfway through an idea and I'm like, this is really cool. I can't wait to finish this. And then 3 days later, I can't even find the motivation to keep playing that way.
I understand that.
You know?
I'm finishing up a batch of songs I wrote 10 years ago. Sometimes the process is the process. Sometimes you need to experience a little more life to finish that song.
It's definitely not linear. No.
Yeah, I hear that. So we've been talking a lot about your sound. With the little time we have left with you, I'd want to hear about what inspires your sound. Who are some of your influences, some of the albums that you really love? Talk to me about that.
Well, I love Susan Tedeschi because of my parents. But I also...
Who are watching.
Hi, Mom. And I really like Brandi Carlile and her songwriting. And I feel like when I was writing a majority of the songs that are on our EP, I was listening to, I think it's like By the Way I Forgive You, that album, or like The Story. But a lot of Brandi Carlile went into those songs, and then like Loewe, and then like Shaky Graves and Madison Cunningham. Those are like my top when I'm like needing inspiration. Those are the people I'm listening to in order to try to be any sort of creative person.
Really cool. Andy, what about you?
Oh man, how much time do we have? I'm all over the board. Like I draw inspiration from things from like all over, from Racer X and Paul Gilbert, like super crazy shred stuff. Not that I play like that, but down to there's this band I really like right now. They only have one record out, and it was kind of like a little mashup project between one of the members of the Stone Temple Pilots and a session guitar player in Nashville, and the band's called Trip the Witch. And
Yeah, they're pretty cool. I actually did stumble upon that.
that's dude, that one record that they have out is easily one of my favorite records at the moment, and probably that I've heard. Period. They only have, for people who haven't heard it, there's only one lyrical song on the entire album, and you don't even really notice that until you finished it. And it's produced so well and mixed so well. I could write a Tom Bukovac fan novel right now in front of everybody. But that's been a super big influence. And then obviously also Tedeschi trucks and like old blues players. I spent a lot of time in high school trying to pretend to be Stevie Ray Vaughan, like a lot of people did that owned a Strat, and then tried to be John Mayer for a little bit, and then before that played Slayer and thrash metal for a brief year. So I'm all over the board. There's not anything I think I haven't tried to get into at some point.
Sounds like you and Andy are going to have a lot to talk about.
Whether it's stuck or not,
in
yeah,
a few
for
minutes
sure.
here, which is great, man.
For sure.
We got to put a pin in it because
Cool.
we don't want to take the audience away from your amazing tunes any longer than we have. So Little Saints, thank you guys so much for being here on the 30th episode of our band show. Please do us the pleasure of playing another song. Take it away with the next track, Harvest.